Novak Djokovic. Novak Djokovic, Serbian Cyrillic, Romanized, Novak Djokovic, pronounced listen, born 22 May 1987, is a Serbian professional tennis player. He has been ranked world No. 1 for a record total 373 weeks and has finished as the year-end No. 1 a record 7 times. He has won 21 Grand Slam men's singles titles, including a record 9 Australian Open titles. He is currently ranked world No. 5 in singles by the Association of Tennis Professionals (ATP). Overall, he has won 92 ATP singles titles, which include a record 65 big titles, a joint record 6 year-end championships, and a record 38 Masters titles. Djokovic has completed a non-calendar year Grand Slam in singles, becoming the only man in tennis history to be the reigning champion of the 4 majors at once across 3 different surfaces. He is also the first man in the Open era to achieve a double career Grand Slam in singles and the only player to complete the career Golden Masters in singles on the ATP Tour, which he has done twice. Serbian tennis player born 1987, Djokovic redirects here. For other people, see Djokovic's surname in this Serbian name. The surname is Djokovic, last updated on 17 January. Djokovic began his professional career in 2003. At age 20, he disrupted Roger Federer's and Rafael Nadal's streak of 11 consecutive majors to win his first major title at the 2008 Australian Open. By 2010, Djokovic also separated himself from the rest of the field to join Federer and Nadal in the Big Three, collectively considered by some to be the 3 most successful male tennis players of all time. In 2011, Djokovic ascended to No. 1 for the first time, winning 3 out of the 4 majors and 5 Masters titles. He remained the most successful player in men's tennis for the rest of the decade. In 2015, Djokovic had his most successful season, reaching 15 consecutive finals and winning a season record 10 big titles. His dominant run extended through to the 2016 French Open, where he completed a non-calendar year Grand Slam and his first career Grand Slam, becoming the first man since Rod Laver in 1969 to hold all 4 majors simultaneously and setting a ranking points record 16,950. Representing Serbia, Djokovic led the Serbian national team to their first Davis Cup title in 2010 and to the inaugural ATP Cup title in 2020. Moreover, he won the bronze medal for Serbia at the 2008 Beijing Olympics. Djokovic has won the Laureus World Sportsman of the Year award 4 times: 2012, 2015, 2016, 2019, the BBC Sports Personality World Sports Star of the Year award in 2011, and the Swipe Champion of Champions award in 2021. He is also a recipient of the Order of Street Sava, the Order of Coureurs Star, and the Order of the Republika Srpska competition. Djokovic is an active philanthropist and a former ATP Player Council president. In August 2020, Djokovic and Vasek Pospisil announced the formation of the Professional Tennis Players Association as the first player-only association in tennis, citing the need for players to have more influence on the tour and advocating better prize money structure for lower-ranked players. Early and personal life. Novak Djokovic was born on 22 May 1987 in Belgrade, SR Serbia, SFR Yugoslavia, to Dijan Wager and Srn Okovi. He is of paternal Serbian and maternal Croatian descent. His 2 younger brothers, Marko and George, have also played professional tennis. Djokovic began playing tennis at the age of 4, after his parents gave him a mini racket and a soft foam ball, which his father claimed became the most beloved toy in his life. His parents then sent him to a tennis camp in Novi Sad. In the summer of 1993, as a 6-year-old, he was sent to a tennis camp organized by the Teniski Club Partizan and overseen by Yugoslav tennis player Jelena Jenny at Mount Kopanik, where Djokovic's parents ran a fast food parlor and a sports equipment business. Upon seeing the child Djokovic playing tennis, she stated, "This is the greatest talent I have seen since Monica Seles." Jenny worked with young Djokovic over the following 6 years before realizing that, owing to his rapid development, going abroad in search of an increased level of competition was the best option for his future. To that end, She contacted Nicola Pili, and in September 1999 the 12-year-old moved to the Pili Tennis Academy in Oberschleißheim, Germany, spending 4 years there. At the age of 14, he began his international career, winning European championships in singles, doubles, and team competition. Djokovic is a self-described fan of languages, speaking Serbian, English, French, German, and Italian. Met his future wife, Jelena Risti, in high school and began dating her in 2005. The two became engaged in September 2013, and on 10 July 2014 the couple were married on Sveti Stefan in Montenegro, while a church wedding was held in the same place on 12 July 2014 in the Church of St. Stephen, Serbian Cyrillic, which belongs to Praspica Monastery. In April 2014, Djokovic announced that he and Risti were expecting their first child. Their son was born in October 2014. Their daughter was born in 2017. Rivalries. See also Big Three Tennis and List of tennis rivalries. Main article. Djokovic-Nadal rivalry. Djokovic and Rafael Nadal have met 59 times, including in all 4 Grand Slam finals, an open-era record for head-to-head meetings between male players. Djokovic leads on hard courts, while Nadal leads on clay, and they are tied on grass. They have played a record 18 Grand Slam matches, with Nadal winning 11 and a joint record 9 Grand Slam tournament finals, tied with Federer. Nadal with Nadal winning 5. Djokovic is the first player to have at least 10 match wins against Nadal and the only person to defeat Nadal 7 times consecutively, which he did twice. The two share the record for the longest Grand Slam final match ever played, 5 hours and 53 minutes, at the 2012 Australian Open final. Main article. Djokovic-Federer rivalry. Djokovic and Federer after their semi-final match at the 2011 US Open. Djokovic played Federer in his first major final at the 2007 US Open and lost in 3 sets. They met 50 times, not including one occasion when there was a walkover in favor of Djokovic. Djokovic has 27 wins to Federer's 23. He leads on hard courts as well as on grass. They are split on clay. Djokovic had more wins against Roger Federer than any other player. They have played 17 Grand Slam matches. Djokovic is the only player other than Nadal who has defeated Federer in consecutive Grand Slam tournament matches. Federer ended Djokovic's 41 match-winning start to the 2011 season at the 2011 French Open semi-finals. However, Federer lost to Djokovic in straight sets the following year. Federer's last major final was against Djokovic at the 2019 Wimbledon Championships. Djokovic won in 5 sets, with the final set going to a tiebreak in what became the longest final in Wimbledon history. Notably, Djokovic won despite Federer statistically outplaying him in all categories except unforced errors, and tiebreaks won. Their final encounter was at the semi-finals of the 2020 Australian Open. Djokovic won in straight sets. Main article. Djokovic-Murray rivalry. Djokovic and Andy Murray have met 36 times, with Djokovic leading. Djokovic leads on clay, on hard courts, and Murray leads on grass. The two are almost exactly the same age, with Murray being a week older than Djokovic. They went to training camp together, and Murray won the first match they ever played as teenagers. The pair have met 19 times in finals, which Djokovic leads. 10 of the finals were Masters finals, where they are tied at. Their most notable match in this category was a 3-set thriller at the final of the 2012 Shanghai Masters, in which Murray held 5 championship point opportunities in the second set. However, Djokovic saved each of them, forcing a deciding set. He eventually prevailed to win his first Shanghai Masters title, ending Murray's winning streak at the event. This, and the 3-set match they played in Rome in 2011, were voted the ATP Tour Match of the Year for each respective season. They have also met in 7 Grand Slam tournament finals. Djokovic and Stan Wawrinka have met 26 times, with Djokovic leading. However, the two have contested numerous close matches, including 4 5-setters at the Grand Slam tournaments. Wawrinka and Djokovic have played 3 consecutive Australian Opens, each match going to 5 sets, and a 5-setter in the US Open in the 2013 Australian Open 4th round. Djokovic won in a 5th set at the 2013 US Open semi-finals. Djokovic won in the 5th set at the 2014 Australian Open quarterfinals, Wawrinka won in the fifth. Wawrinka's win broke Djokovic's run of 14 consecutive semifinals in Grand Slam play and ended a 28-match winning streak. Djokovic got revenge next year at the 2015 Australian Open, winning in the fifth set at the 2015 French Open final. Wawrinka defeated Djokovic in 4 sets to claim his second major title. Later that year, Djokovic beat Wawrinka at the Cincinnati Masters and Paris Masters. At the 2016 U.S. Open, Wawrinka beat Djokovic in a Grand Slam final for a second time. Djokovic was suffering from a foot injury in the latter stages of the match and lost in 4 sets. However, he attributed his loss to Wawrinka's courageous play at decisive moments in the match. Despite Djokovic's overall record against Wawrinka, Wawrinka leads Djokovic in ATP finals and Grand Slams. During Djokovic's run of 13 appearances at Grand Slam finals from 2014 Wimbledon through the 2020 Australian Open, his only 2 losses were to Wawrinka. Contrary to most high-profile rivalries, they have played doubles together. Djokovic and Juan Martín del Potro have met 20 times, with Djokovic leading. Djokovic won their first 4 meetings before back-to-back victories for Del Potro at the 2011 Davis Cup and their bronze medal match at the 2012 Summer Olympics in straight sets. Djokovic won the next 4 matches before he loses again to Del Potro at the 2013 Indian Wells Masters, where the Argentinian made his second career Masters final. Djokovic got the upper hand on the rivalry once again by winning 2 of the most important matches between them to date, an epic 5-setter at the 2013 Wimbledon Championships semifinals, which was the longest Wimbledon semifinal at the time, and a thrilling 3-setter at the 2013 Shanghai Masters final. Del Potro upset Djokovic in the first round at the 2016 Olympics in Rio en route to the final. In 2018, Djokovic defeated Del Potro in 3 close sets in the final of the U.S. Open, which was the first Grand Slam final for Del Potro since his 2009 U.S. Open victory. They played their last match at the 2019 Italian Open quarterfinal, which Djokovic won in a dramatic 3-setter after he saved 2 match points. Djokovic and Jo-Wilfried Tsonga met 23 times, with Djokovic leading. Their first meeting was in the final of the 2008 Australian Open, which Djokovic won in 4 sets to win his first Grand Slam singles title. Their next meeting at a Grand Slam event was also at the Australian Open in the 2010 quarterfinals. This time, Tsonga prevailed, winning in 5 sets after Djokovic fell ill during the match. It would be another year and a half until they met again, this time in the semi-finals at Wimbledon in 2011. It was their first meeting on grass, and Djokovic prevailed in 4 sets to advance to his first Wimbledon final. In the process, Djokovic ended the 7.5-year reign of Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal at the top of the rankings. At the 2012 French Open, Djokovic and Tsonga met again in the quarterfinals, with Djokovic prevailing in 5 sets after more than 4 hours of play. They met again 2 months later at the Olympics, with Djokovic winning in straight sets in the quarterfinals. They both made it through to the final of the 2012 China Open, where Djokovic was victorious once again in straight sets. The pair were drawn in the same pool for the 2012 ATP Finals, in which Djokovic prevailed in the first of 3 round-robin matches. It was Djokovic's 5th win over Tsonga in 2012. Their final Grand Slam tournament meeting was in the second round of the 2019 Australian Open, which Djokovic won in straight sets. Legacy. Some observers, tennis players, and coaches describe Djokovic as the greatest of all time, primarily because he won tournaments by beating the top players in the world and having better head-to-head records against his biggest rivals in one of the strongest eras of tennis, collecting the most weeks at No. 1, winning the most big titles, beating the top 10 and top 5 players the most, finishing the most years at No. 1 while winning all Grand Slam and Masters events at least twice, which has never been done by another player even once. Djokovic is credited with beating more higher-ranked players on the way to his Grand Slam tournament trophies than anyone among the big 3. Former world's #1 Daniil Medvedev labeled Novak Djokovic the greatest tennis player in history after winning his first major title at the 2021 U.S. Open against Djokovic. Hadcash emphasized that Djokovic is one of 2 players who beat Rafael Nadal at the French Open, which he considers to be the biggest challenge in tennis. Richard Krajicek and the Roar sports opinion website said that Djokovic should be considered for the greatest player of all time because he is the only one among his greatest rivals who has won 4 Grand Slams in a row. Patrick Martoglau stated, "Novak is the most complete player of all times. That enables him to find the solution to most of the problems on court, and this, on every surface. It explains why he is now in the best position to become the GOAT." Djokovic is widely considered to be one of the greatest returners in the history of the sport, an accolade given to him even by Andre Agassi, who is considered to be the best returner ever, though staying clear of best ever conversations. Tennis coach Nick Bollettieri has continually been praising Djokovic as the most complete player ever and the most perfect player of all time. When you look at match players in the history of tennis, I don't believe that anybody can equal everything on the court that Djokovic does. I don't think you can find a weakness in his game, his movement, personality, his return of serve, excellent touch, not hesitant in coming to the net, great serve. Overall, almost every player has a downfall. To me, he doesn't have one. He's perhaps the best put-together player that I've seen over 60 years. Pete Sampras, who at the time of his retirement in 2003 was considered by some to be the greatest male tennis player of all time, stated unequivocally after Djokovic picked up his record-breaking 7th year, and no, 1 in 7 years for him. I'm sure he sees it as a bonus to all the majors that he's won, but I think he'll appreciate it more as he gets older. He did it at a time where he dominated 2 of the greats, in Roger and Rafa, and he handled the next generation of players very well all at the same time. I do think what Novak's done over the past 10 years, winning the majors, being consistent, finishing #1 for 7 years, to me it's a clear sign that he's the greatest of all time. Tennis pundits have classified many of Djokovic's matches as some of the greatest contests ever, in particular the 2012 Australian Open final in which he beat Rafael Nadal. Some analysts claim that the Djokovic-Nadal rivalry ranks as the best rivalry in tennis history because of the quality of matches they produce. Records. Main article, list of career achievements by Novak Djokovic. These records were attained in the Open era of tennis and an ATP Masters Series since records in bold indicate peerless achievements. If World Champion 7, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, 2018, ACT Player of the Year 7, 2011, 2012, 2014, 2015, 2018, 2020, 2021,